What is up, gang? Nick here. Welcome to the show. If you're new, thanks for coming back. If you're not, if you have watched my show previously, you will know just how bullish I am on innovative disruption and all that it brings. I do fundamentally think that companies positioning themselves for the future landscape and shaking the status quo will be the winners of tomorrow. As the current health situation changes the way we live our everyday lives, analysts are noting that this has expedited many business changes that would have likely taken years, if not decades, otherwise. One of the main shifts noted has been the way that consumers purchase their groceries and even think about their health and well-being. The company of today's episode is completely turning the conventional trip to the grocery store on its head and could be extremely well positioned for the coming landscape. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to first go over who the company is, what exactly it is they do, where they see their company moving in the coming weeks, months, and quarters, and then finally covering their analytics, their charting, statistics, balance sheet, and financials. We have a ton to get to in today's episode. Make sure to join our Patreon page. I will be releasing every single one of my trades moving throughout 2021. I finished 2020 with over a 50% ROI. There's more content there behind the scenes, penny stock picks every single day. You don't want to miss any of that. This also gives you exclusive access to our private Discord channels. My real-time trades are tracked there. There's under the radar stocks. The chat is always popping off. It's an awesome community. You don't want to miss that. Make sure to always come to your own conclusions whenever allocating capital on the stock market, and especially when it comes to penny stocks. Disclaimer, this is a sponsored video. Don't invest any capital you can't afford to lose. Penny stocks do indeed have more potential reward. However, this does come with much more risk, so make sure you are aware of these. Formulate your own opinions, come to your own conclusions. This is your duty as an investor. Don't just take my word for it because I'm saying it on the internet. All right, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. All right, so who is this company? The company of today's episode is PlantX, trading on the CNSX under ticker symbol VEGA, and in the United States on the DTC, trading under ticker symbol PLTXF. It should be noted right off the top that this company has indeed recently applied to trade on the NASDAQ to further expose their brand to the US market, so make sure to keep your eyes out for that. So PlantX is a company headquartered in West Vancouver. They are a company trying to shift the way people think about plant-based food and products and easing the way that people are even able to obtain these products. Sustainably focused and plant-based online groceries are surging. There is an entire generation of people who look at food in a completely new light, and these companies really are poised for the coming landscape. To put this growth into some perspective, research has shown that sustainability-focused products are actually growing at a rate 5.6 times faster than other products and generating growth in the consumer goods sector. PlantX could really be the beneficiary to this fundamental shift in thinking, eating, and living. Now, looking at PlantX from a generalized macro scale, they are a one-stop shop to more than 20,000 plant-based products that ship across Canada and the United States. They are merging two fascinating markets in e-commerce and 100% plant-based living and eating products. Online grocery shipping has been on the rise for a number of years now, but as I previously stated, the sudden surge in the current health situation has acted as a catalyst, transforming the way we buy food in the blink of an eye. We can see the sharp rise, and this is only expected to continue. Now, as with many newly formed companies, they have many different verticals and are extremely diversified. This is nothing out of the ordinary. This is a way for companies to broadly diversify across industries, to absorb growth from every single angle, to then focus on what is working best. They have four main portions to their company: plant-based groceries, local meal delivery, indoor plants, and plant-based gifts. They also have plans underway to expand their product line to include cosmetics, their own water brand, recipes, milk alternatives, and clothing. They are diverse. They essentially facilitate the exchange of high-quality plant-based products to the consumer, making it easier and faster, and I do think this is a market that is going to continue not only existing, but thriving in our digitized and decentralized lifestyles. With the quantity of people working from home and spending more time in their homes, plants and aesthetics become increasingly important as well. Houseplant sales in the US have increased by 50% to 1.7 billion over the past 3 years alone. I think one of their most promising arms is their prepare 20 unique pre-made meals designed by top chefs and nutritionists that they change every 2 weeks. I do think that as our world changes and evolves, one of these changes is that more people are staying at home and ordering food, and this food is going to become increasingly nutritious and plant-based, in my opinion. Survey data published by the research firm Packaged Facts discovered that nearly 1/4, 23% of consumers have eaten plant-based alternatives, and that 37% of consumers are open to trying these products. The plant-based alternative market is rapidly growing and is seen as one of the fastest growing industries currently. There are now huge companies introducing plant-based alternatives into their menus, like A&W, McDonald's, Burger King, the list goes on. As more and more health studies and nutrition research emerges showing the potential deleterious effects of overconsumption of meat, Americans are changing their diets, and the stats back this up. Nearly half of Americans, 43%, have reduced meat in their diet, and a quarter have reduced or cut dairy out of their diets completely. The $950 billion meat industry could be currently in a major disruption period, and the $4 trillion global food services market could be potentially turned on its head by companies positioning themselves for the eventuality, like PlantX. They are offering its meals through partnered restaurants and acquiring brands that could be fitted under their umbrella to enhance their global reach of the company. Okay, so what does PlantX actually achieve themselves? Let's take a deeper dive into this. To start, they have announced a deal with Hillcrest San Diego, which commits $30 million Canadian of purchases. The company, on November 6th, 2020, announced acquisition of Bloombox Club UK, which is a privately held e-commerce company based in the UK. Bloombox Club is currently on a $3.9 million Canadian annual run rate. Now, just 4 days later, on the 10th, they announced a partnership with Houseplant Ship to launch a new US indoor plant store. They just had a record-breaking January with over $1 million in gross revenue in the month alone, $1,089,000 to be exact. They went from $0 revenue to over $1 million in the calendar year 2020. I really do think this is quite impressive. They have a really robust and aggressive expansion plan set in place, and I do like to see this from a startup company in a fierce and competitive industry. Now, they will have to reduce their cost of revenue and operating costs in the coming quarters in order to achieve profitability. I will be keeping my eye out for this. Now, looking at their statistics and charting, they are currently sitting at $1.34 Canadian. They have a massive 52-week delta with a low of 0.44 and a high of 2.34. They have total cash of $1.97 million. They have a market cap of $72.98 million. And like I previously mentioned, they just set all-time records in terms of their monthly gross revenue, posting over $1 million Canadian. We can see the rapid increase in revenue, and I will be keeping a close eye on this in the coming quarters. As always, whenever analyzing a company, I find it incredibly important to look at their management team. Their founder, Sean Dollinger, is a serial entrepreneur who has business building experience. He has much experience in e-commerce. Julia Frank has experience in marketing, brand and business development, managing. The list goes on. It's a very robust and experienced management team driving this company forward. It's sitting in good hands. I do think this is an industry that could see much continued growth and success in the coming quarters and years. I do think that as we shift away from the conventional and traditional methods of purchasing food and groceries, that we will indeed see an increased purchasing market online. I think that this market is already growing saturated, and with PlantX solely focusing on providing 100% plant-based alternatives to its customers, I think they will be able to carve out a nice niche for themselves and may be able to expand this market share in the coming quarters and years. Like I said previously, I will be keeping a very close eye on them as they change and evolve with the times. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget about our Patreon. I will be releasing every single one of my trades moving throughout 2021 on there. This also gives you exclusive access to our Discord channels. We have under the radar stocks, tons of scoops in there. The chat is always popping off. It's an incredible place. You really do not want to miss any of that. Anyways, everyone, I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Happy trading. Cheers.